Hello and welcome to 10-Minute OET, the 10-minute video lesson aimed at helping busy professionals build up their skills for their OET test. Today we're going to be focusing on social prescribing, and in this lesson we're going to be practicing some active listening techniques. So what we're going to be doing is focusing on note taking, which is a great skill to have in your OET and of course your everyday life, and it might be something that you've fallen out of practice in doing since you've done your studies, perhaps very recently or perhaps a long time ago. But note taking is a great skill to have and to come back to, and it's very useful for the test. So we'll be doing that using the topic of social prescribing and of course looking at the answers as well to the questions I pose. My name's Sona, I'm your online OET tutor with Bose Learning, and I'm a premium preparation provider of the OET. Thank you very, very much for joining me today. Okie dokie then. So first of all, what is social prescribing exactly? And I've got a little extract here from NHS England, which explains to us that social prescribing is a key component of an idea called universal personalised care. It's an approach that connects people to activities, groups and services in their community, and it's to meet the practical, social and emotional needs that affect all of our health and well-being. It connects people like agencies, charities, anything across social care, using health services to refer people to a link worker. And you're going to hear more about this in the listening coming up. And there's more information here that you can come back to and read, and of course I'm going to put the links in for you as well. So what we're going to do is, as I say, do some training to help you with your OET. We're not going to be looking too much at OET questions today. I've got other videos which are going to help you do that. All we're doing is training your brain, training your ear, and in this case, training your hands to all work at the same time, because that's one of the things that my students always say. It's really hard to listen and read and make notes all together, which is what you're going to have to do in your OET, and this is what we're practicing today. So we're looking at active listening and note-taking techniques, and when you're taking notes, I'm sure you all remember this from long ago, but it's worth just going through it again. Don't write down full sentences, use abbreviations and symbols. Try to write concise phrases so that you can remember what you've written, or key words, something key that's going to trigger your memory to remember what you've listened to. Capture the broad themes of the topic, and don't forget to note down any details, for example, figures and dates and things like that. And that's the best way to take notes. So in the listening that we're going to do, I'm going to pose you some questions, and I'd like you to make notes about the following things. What issues does social prescribing aim to address? How does it contribute to patients' overall well-being? How does the speaker suggest connecting community-based services, voluntary groups and primary care through social prescribing? What are their ideas of doing so? What challenges or hesitancies are mentioned in the discussion regarding social prescribing? And what role does the speaker themselves actually play as a regional coordinator? So those are the topics I want you to listen out for and make notes on. And here we go. Let's listen. So get your paper, pen, your keypad, if that's what you're using, ready, and let's listen. Here we go.
So social prescribing is a really exciting way of being able to meet the whole needs of patients within the NHS. We found that actually 1 in 5 patients is going to the GP with an issue that is non-clinical, and actually the GP is not always best placed to meet the needs of those patients. So you can now refer those patients to a social prescribing worker, and they will help to support them around the other elements of their health. So that might be relating to housing, might be relating to employment, might be relating to trying to tackle loneliness and other things that have been proven to really make a difference to people's health and well-being. Social prescribing is all about relationships and collaboration. And whether that's actually building relationships, social prescribers building really good relationships with patients that will make a difference, but also building relationships across our system. This is something that could transform the way that we work with communities and local people. So taking the community-based services and voluntary groups and seeing the impact that they have on health, linking them up through the social prescribing into primary care and all the excellent work that's going on there around people's clinical health, and also bringing in the local authority too around housing and economic development, employment issues. So actually starting to knit things together rather than things all being separate in silos, actually starting to look at things as a whole in a place-based way. Really exciting opportunity. I think some people are still questioning the value of social prescribing. There's still some hesitancy around that, or maybe feeling that the support services that social prescribing offers should sit elsewhere in the system. We've been working on this agenda for 5 years now, before some of the NHS work started, and we've really seen that actually a lot of vulnerable people go to the GPs. It's their first port of call. And so actually, by embedding social prescribing in the GPs, that kind of holistic support, you're really reaching people who otherwise it would be very difficult to reach, and starting to support them to really see their health issues tackled. So for the last 9 months, I've been privileged to be the Regional Learning Coordinator for the North East region for NHS England. And that's given us the opportunity to bring together all of the new link workers in that region and help them start to understand some of the issues that they're going to face, how to embed well into the GPs, how to really start to support people across our area where there's really high levels of health inequalities. We're excited about the possibilities of training a new workforce that's going to really meet the challenging demands of our region.
Okay, how did you do? So what I'm going to show you are my own notes that I made while listening to this information. So I didn't write down social prescribing all the time, I just abbreviated it and wrote down some key ideas. It's a really exciting way to meet whole needs. 1 in 5 visits are non-clinical, and the GPs might not be the best person actually to advise the patient. So what they can do is refer the patient on to this link advisor who can help them with housing, employment, loneliness, and it does make a difference. They're building relationships and collaborations between the patients and across the whole system with community-based groups, etc. Don't worry if you spell something wrong, it's okay, it's just your own note. So bringing in local authorities, what I wanted to say, it's not separate little groups, it's all together. And some people question social prescribing. There's a hesitancy about it. These are the challenges. They feel that this isn't really the right thing for GPs to be doing, but it's been working for 5 years. We've seen that it works holistically and it's reaching people that otherwise can't be reached. So it's great, and it's also tackling health issues by doing this. The lady herself has been working for 9 months as the regional coordinator for North East England. She brings together link workers, which are embedded with the GPs in areas of high levels of health inequality and training new workforce. Okay, so those are my notes, and hopefully you've managed to get something similar and capture some similar themes. Go back and listen again if you need to, but what we're going to do now is do some intensive listening to really train your ear to listen for specific information and to hear these sounds in English. So I've got a gap fill for you. Can you complete the gap for me? The gaps rather. Here we go.
You can refer anyone experiencing mental ill health to our referral and access team. They use the initial assessment and referral decision support tool to connect people with the most appropriate services.
You can refer anyone experiencing mental ill health to our referral and access team. Referral and access joins together, referral and access team. They use the initial assessment tool to connect people with the most appropriate services. Let's do another gap fill.
And they keep you informed when a patient is allocated to a new one.
And you can Guess this one, they keep you informed when a patient is allocated to a new service, so the GP has a good idea of what's going on with their patient. So let's do a little bit of test practice then. We're going to do some listening, eliminating options and choosing the one that best matches what you heard. So don't forget, in the test, just read the question, make your own notes, and then select the option which best suits your own notes. So you'll hear a clinical manager briefing a team of GPs about a referral scheme. What they say is a current flaw in the care of mental health. Let's listen.
We know the mental health and wellbeing system is complex and fragmented. It's improving, but change takes time. We're here to support you as it happens.
Let's look at our options.
We know the mental health and wellbeing system is complex and fragmented. It's improving, but change takes time.
And let's dismiss the ones which it's not. Yeah, it talks about the length, but it doesn't take too long to make these changes. Nothing about it being easy to access. It's actually about it not being well integrated at the moment. Okay, so a little bit of useful vocabulary and pronunciation just to wrap up. We've got telephone counselling services, counselling, evidence-based psychological interventions such as cognitive behavioural therapy, etc. Individual clinical management for complex mental health needs, engaging with peers with lived experience of mental illness, also clinical support with experiencing risk from suicide or self-harm. Just a little note here, we try to no longer say commit suicide, we say suicide or take their lives, which is of course something we want to prevent, and this service offers support for people feeling vulnerable. And thank you very much for watching. If you would like more information about my pre-recorded courses on Udemy, please take a look at the links below. I'll put in some discount codes for you, and I'd be so happy if you could help me grow this channel by sharing it, liking it, and telling your friends about it as well. And why not sign up for a free dose of all things OET, my regular newsletter where you get updated with lots of free lessons straight to your inbox. Thanks very much for watching, and I hope to see you again next time. Take care. Bye bye.